All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever live Q&A for my podcast, Mic'd Up with Max Webster. Today we're going to welcome on a couple of guests that I've already interviewed and give you people a chance to ask questions that maybe I didn't ask or get some reiteration on some things and learn more about them, things that you might be interested in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring them on. Let's start by bringing on my guy, Diggy. How you doing, man?
What's going on?
And let's bring Hub up in here. How
What's
you
up,
doing?
man? How you doing, man? What's up?
I'm good. Crazy day for you guys?
Pretty slow day. I mean, for my job, this is basically like a Friday. I get off every other Friday, so it's a pretty slow day.
Okay.
For
Okay.
me, it got a little bit crazy towards the end. I had my web dev class this afternoon, and we're trying to figure out how to basically complete an assignment. I still haven't figured it out.
I know that struggle where you have an assignment and it's really vague and yeah.
Now imagine that with code, with JavaScript.
Oh no, I have to code too.
Oh, bet. Yeah,
Happy,
Diggy knows
yeah.
the struggle.
All right, I'm going
Diggy
to take a
knows the
minute
struggle.
and say hey to some people in the chat. We got Football with Benny in here. We got Jaden the Champ, Joel Yaddo, Nate Talks Giants. How y'all doing tonight? Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves and enjoy the stream here. So if you guys got some questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll throw them at them. But in the meantime, I guess I'll start with you, Diggy. Going back to the episode when I interviewed you, what was like your favorite part of that episode? Did you have a moment that kind of stuck out to you of like you enjoyed this segment or portion or question the most?
Let's see. I mean, it's kind of hard to look back on because I was so busy with school that I was in a whirlwind. But probably you're gonna have to give me a couple minutes. I think Hub
Yeah,
should
no
go first.
worries. You got an answer for that, Hub?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, just something like while I was interviewing you, your time on the podcast, like the one part or question that you like the moment in that podcast that you felt you enjoyed the most. What was or something that like caught you by surprise that you didn't expect or something like that. What's going on, Joseph? I see you in the chat. Logan, how you doing?
My favorite part was definitely just the questions about Queens and NYC in general, stuff that may surprise other people that they don't know about it. I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah? You figure anything out, Diggy?
Yeah, I would probably say talking about just I think I just like reflecting on just my childhood.
Yeah.
It's just fun to do sometimes. I like talking about. I think I was talking about track for a little while.
Yeah.
I like telling that story too. So
Yeah, for sure. I've enjoyed interviewing everybody I've had on, and Diggy, you were kind of my guinea pig with the segment that
yeah,
I
I definitely
have
like
with
the end part too. Yeah.
yeah with the rapid fire questions. I don't think I've had any real like repeat answers yet, and I've asked some similar questions. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've enjoyed that part. And Hub, Diggy, you guys seem like that part didn't catch you off guard. Hub, so when we did our interview, you talked a little bit about your story with the bike. What's going on, Nick? I see you. And then later on that night, you said you got in the car or whatever, and you were like, "Oh man, I had some other stories that I should have told." Do you remember what those were? You can go ahead and raffle those off right now.
Um, was it about the bike story or was it something else? Was it like a hidden talent one? Whatever the case is, one of the things that came to mind for some reason, it was in my high school days, was for some reason me and my friends had the most complicated, complex, long handshakes whenever we met up with each other. Whenever we met up with each other, we didn't just dap each other up. We would dap each other up, do this thing with our elbows, knock the elbows, intertwine the fingers, bro, go all around and do like 5 other steps before we actually step back and say, "So what's up?" For some reason, like with each one of my friends, it was a different handshake too. That just popped into my mind.
Yeah,
How
I would
old
never
approximately
remember
at this
that.
point?
What happened?
How old were you approximately at this point?
14.
14. All
Yeah.
right. How about you, Diggy? Any crazy handshake memories from when you were younger?
I've tried to start handshakes with people. I always end up forgetting them. That's how
All
it
right. Well,
usually goes for me.
I guess we'll take our first non-Giants question, then I'll get to your question, Jaden. But Joel says, any hobbies you guys are looking to get into? I know you're both kind of busy with school, but anything that you're looking to get back into or looking to get into for the first time? Maybe you didn't mention on the podcast or whatever.
Um, One thing I'm probably looking to get back into is playing the piano. I've been playing since I was about 6 or 7, and I always have like long breaks of me not playing because just life happens and it just gets pushed back. I also used to be able to play like the guitar, the trombone. So I probably, if I had like 2 weeks to just do nothing but just do what I want to do, of course I will probably still want to upload videos because I just love uploading videos. But uh, other than that, I would definitely want to just explore all of the instruments I used to play.
That's cool. How about you, Hub?
Kind of similar to Diggy, and I mentioned it on the recorded episode. I would want to get back into viola. Definitely
Yeah.
want to get back into
Start a
viola.
band, a whole orchestra.
Diggy on
yeah.
piano, I got guitar, and we got Hub on viola over here.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm down to start an orchestra. I mean, I played an orchestra for like 4 years, and then because the instruments are just so expensive to own on your own, I had to give it up.
That's what happened to me with the trombone when I was a kid, when I was in like fifth grade. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was like, I was very seriously playing viola at the high school level. Like, I told Max if I knew that my college actually offered a music studies program, I would have
Yeah.
minored in music. I would have minored in music theory probably, and I would have definitely been in there playing a viola of some sort, whether the college provided it or I went back to my old high school and I was like, "Yo, listen, can y'all let me just borrow this?"
Yeah, luckily, when I was in undergrad, I think when I was a junior, I got to take like an intro to music class, and like
Mhm.
all they were doing was teaching people how to read music. I already knew how to do it, so it was an
Exactly.
easy A. And basically, what I got to do was just go in there and play the piano every day, and I actually got free lessons and stuff out of it too. So
Yeah, I took one single music theory class at Hunter, and it was the intro level, and it's like stuff I already knew, and I was like,
exactly,
if I knew about this sooner, I would have like actually did it.
yeah, I just pretended like I didn't know it. I was like, "Oh wow, where every good boy does." Oh, what's the next one?
You know, it's funny.
It was
M- mine was taught with a piano, but the notes are similar enough that I knew what I was doing from viola.
exactly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got we got a couple new people who joined us, so I'm just gonna say hi, Mike Nixon. I see you. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Frankie G, thanks for coming in. Viz, what's going on, brother? Well, we got another question. We'll take a Giants question here. I'll go back a little bit. Who was it here? Jaden. He wants to know if you guys are gonna look to trade him this year or next, or cut him this year or next.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna look to trade him, I'd be looking to trade him right now for
Oh,
draft picks this
here it
year.
is. Would y'all like to release Ingram this year or next year?
Well, next year he's a free agent, so
Yeah, that's true.
we're not franchise tagging him.
Yeah. Benny, maybe sometime this is the first stream. So right now I kind of want to just see how it rolls with chat, and as we grow, maybe I'll do some call-ins and let you guys ask your own questions. But I think for right now, at least in the beginning stages, we're just gonna keep it a chat, and we'll talk with you guys through here. Frankie G says, any bad habits that you guys have?
Wow.
I'm gonna let you go with this one first.
I used to have a lot of bad habits. I think I've stopped most of them. I probably my biggest bad habit that I sometimes slip back into is probably sweets. Like I really love sweets. I've kind of stopped with that, but it's definitely something. And then probably just snacking in general. Like sometimes I would rather have a snack than to eat,
Mhm.
than to eat like actual. I'm just someone who always just has like a bag of chips or something. So that's probably something I should stop.
So if you're gonna snack on anything, it's a bag of chips.
Um, Usually, I mean, my wife is the exact opposite. So like, she would rather like for a snack, she would rather have a meal. Like she never wants snacks, but I'm probably the opposite.
Well, I'll go ahead and take this
Oh, you go.
question
Yeah.
too and answer it. Just because I mean it is my channel, and so I told people they learn about me. This is probably my bad habit right here. This right here. This is my bad habit, and I started probably almost 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just become definitely a habit at this point, and I'll be looking to break it here in the future, hopefully.
I'll say another bad habit I probably used to have was I used to play a lot of games like Madden and 2K and all of those games with microtransactions. Man, if I could have all the money I spent in high school and in college on those microtransactions, like 2K, when you get 2K, you have to max out your my player. You got to get them on the part. You got to max them out, and it's just wasted money, man. It's wasted money.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Hub? You got any bad habits you want to release out there into the world?
Binging. Binge anything. For some reason, with anything the word binge could be attached to, I've done it at some point, enough for it to become a habit. And I gotta break it permanently. Like I break it periodically, but like binge watching shows and anime, for example. I've done that too much to the point that it's taken away time from important stuff that I've got to do. Um, binge gaming, kind of like what Diggy mentioned. I've done that too much to the point that it's taken away from stuff that I have to do. Um, Binge eating every now and again, and I gotta stop doing that to lose some weight. But yeah, it's that.
Going back to the piano, Nate was saying he played piano when he was a kid, cello until sophomore, and he still plays the drums. But he gave you credit,
For not quitting.
Diggy, and yeah, and said you got more dedication for sure.
Yeah,
But
I like. Yeah, if I had time, I would play the piano every day, and maybe I need to make time, but it's just tough to just balance. I'm someone who likes to do a lot of different hobbies, so it's kind of
right.
hard to balance everything.
Viz, we went over this a little bit in the episode, but if you guys want to touch on it again real quick and just kind of answer the question, Viz wants to know, did you guys play any football when you were younger?
I just want to say I gotta pop out for maybe 2 or 3 minutes or so. I'll be right back.
That's fine.
Okay.
You go ahead and start with this question then, Diggy.
Yeah, I know. Hub said he played tight end, but yeah, I just played DB for about 6 or 7 weeks in like sixth grade, so I didn't really play that much. I mean, I more was playing basketball. I probably did that at a higher level than any other sport. Yeah, I was a basketball person. Not by choice because I love football. I wanted to play football, but my mother saw the stuff about the concussions and she's a nurse and everything, so she shut it down.
Yeah, that's kind of the same story with me. I think we talked about it in your episode. My freshman year of high school, I was extremely small, and I didn't really hit a growth spurt until almost my senior year. So my freshman year of high school, I was 4'9.5" and probably about 120 pounds. So there was definitely no football in there for me. I did play a little bit of catcher. That baseball was probably my most consistent sport. I played it for probably 2 years, but yeah, I wanted to play football, but again, my mom looked at my size and goes, probably not the best idea.
And you know what else I wanted to do? If I had it my way as a kid, I would be boxing. I always
Yeah?
wanted to box. I always wanted to box. But the same thing with the concussions and stuff. I mean, I just wanted to box so much. Like I used to watch it as a kid, and I still watch it sometimes. And I definitely would have wanted to do that.
I'm a huge fan of MMA. I used to take MMA classes. I never got I sparred a little bit, but I never really did any actual amateur fights or anything. It was just about getting the workout in and doing something I enjoyed, which is hitting the mitts. Logan says, "Do you have any funny childhood stories that stick out?"
Oh man. This was a crazy childhood story I have. I don't even know. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it'll be funny by the time I finish it. But when I was in literally pre-K, I was a little jerk, and I was in pre-K, and there was this kid. He was trying to bully me or something, and it went on for a couple of weeks. And then one day, I just literally stood up out of the chair I was in, started hitting the kid with the chair, and I went to a private school, and the teachers there had permission to spank us or whoop us or whatever. So
yeah.
I got disciplined, and then I went home. I didn't get suspended. I mean, I guess maybe since I was in pre-K, they gave me a pass. But
Right.
I mean, now that I look back, I'm just like a 4-year-old beating some kid up with a chair, and it wasn't even a steel chair. It was one of those little kid metal leg chairs.
Right.
So that was really dangerous. But I got home, and then my mother is like, she was mad at me. So she told me she like threatened to throw away all my toys. And then as a little kid, like I didn't believe her. So I went and packed up every single one of my toys, and I was like, as like a 4-year-old, throw it away. I don't care. And literally every single thing that I got for like my entire life and Christmas and stuff, that was all in the garbage. It was all in the garbage, and I literally threw it away. I threw it away because like I was so mad.
You took it to heart for sure.
And then I was just sitting at home with nothing there. Yeah.
Yeah, Logan, I'm going to go ahead and press on with the next question just because I'm way behind on chat right now. But when Hub gets back in here, if I don't remember, please remind me and I will make sure to ask him that question for you and he can give a little bit of that. Jaden wants to know, what's y'all's favorite part of YouTube?
My favorite part of YouTube has stayed the same. I don't think I went into as much detail as how long I've been on YouTube. I talked about it to you before we went live, but we never got to cover it.
Right.
But yeah, to make long story short, I've been on YouTube since like 2009 making Giants videos. And the only reason I've been really making these videos is just so I could have other Giants fans to talk football with. So like,
right.
That's what I love most about YouTube. The other thing I love most, I used to make highlights too. I think my Odell video has like 87,000 or 100,000 views. A couple of them went pretty big. So I really like the video editing part, but I've been so busy lately that I haven't really been able to dive into like the deep video editing. But I would say probably being able to interact and talk football with just fans in general, and then definitely the video editing part.
Right. Hub, you did miss this question, so I'm going to go back to this for a second. He wants to know if you have any funny childhood stories to share.
The one that's coming immediately to mind right now is the connected to the bike one. I remember on your pod that I said that I used to ride bikes all day when I was a kid, like 7, 8, 9. One of them, and this was in Guyana, in my old village. The village had like 3 trenches in it separating three streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was going for some reason. I was like, let me just go really fast on this bike right here. And I crashed into one of the trenches, completely toppled over. And like I was going so fast that my slipper that I was wearing that flew like 2 lots over into like the 2 neighbors over's houses. And I'm just laying in the trench and I'm just there for like a good 15 minutes, like just in shock and like adrenaline and whatnot before somebody comes and find me.
All right. And then the other question was from Jaden. What's your favorite part of YouTube?
Not necessarily a part, but my favorite thing that I got from YouTube was it inadvertently made me learn how to use like applications like Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop more, because I didn't know how to use them before and I had to self-learn a lot of them, especially with Premiere Pro and the editing and whatnot. It's given me or made me develop a skill that I didn't have beforehand and one that's going to be completely useful.
Yeah, I know I'm pretty new to the game of YouTube, but I've enjoyed every episode I've recorded. I'm enjoying myself right now. For me, it's just the interaction with people that like I don't talk to every day. You know what I mean? Whether it's the content creator I'm talking to about themselves, or if it's just right now like talking to people in chat, I want to know what they want to ask too, because now I can take some of this, and if I'm not already implementing it, go ahead and put it in the podcast so that you guys can get what you're looking for out of the content as well. But yeah, that's probably my favorite part of YouTube, is just meeting new people, talking to new people, making new connections.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and jump into a little bit of Giants stuff, because I know we got a lot of Giants fans in here, and they're probably waiting for us to talk about it. So before the show started, I sent you guys a link in the Twitter. There's talks that the Giants are trying to look for a trade partner for Kevin Zeitler, and if they don't find one, they're looking to release him. Ooh. So just go ahead and give me your thoughts on that. Hub, Diggy seems surprised by that. I know you saw it, Hub, so if you want to go ahead and start first and just talk about your thoughts on that.
The first thing that came to mind whenever I see this or any type of rumor like this, I'm like, I don't know if it's true. So if it is true, I'm honestly surprised. I thought they were going to try and keep Zeitler because of how good he is for our line. But, you know, the whole reason he's even been in these talks in the first place is because of the what the contract gives us back to the cap space. And, you know, we're the lowest team right now that's in the green. We're in the green, but I think we're ranked the lowest of all the teams that are in the green. We're only like $1 million in the green or something crazy like that.
Right.
Whatever the case is, I don't know. I just find it surprising that so early on, if this is true, that they're just looking to straight up move him. They're because they want that cap space instead of trying to restructure or something.
Right. So would you be against it?
I mean, yeah, my opinion on that's been pretty stable, pretty consistent. I want to keep him, even if it means we have less cap, because I'm not confident in whoever's going to replace him.
What about you, Diggy? What's your opinions and thoughts on the rumor that came out about we're looking to trade him, and if that doesn't work, he'll probably be released for cap reasons specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, maybe they already. I'm guessing if they're trading him, they had to have approached him or something and say, "Do you want to restructure?" He probably said no. So that's the only reason I can see why they would want to trade him or cut him. If we don't find a trade partner and we just release Kevin Zeitler, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that because we don't have anyone that is going to be able to replace him unless I mentioned yesterday in the Young Gun stream. Maybe Matt Fielder from the Steelers. Maybe we replace him with him. Then maybe I'm fine with that.
But be honest with me, Diggy, right? If we do release him to free that cap space, I don't think we're going to go and use that money on a replacement.
Yeah, but he'd be half the cost.
He would be half the cost, right?
Yeah.
I still think they're probably going to use that money elsewhere, probably on the defensive side or something.
I hope they don't think that they're just going to swing over Lemieux to right guard because that'll be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Joel says he posted a link in your Discord hub saying the Bears are looking at Hernandez.
Please get rid of Hernandez.
What's that?
Yeah, give Hernandez another chance.
Listen, I already told you I don't forgive Hernandez because Will Hernandez got drafted, and the first thing he said was, "It's an honor to be pass protecting for Eli Manning. I've got him 100%." He lied. He did not have Eli 100%.
Is he the first player to not mean what they said?
He lied, man. He said 100. He didn't say 90%. And he didn't even have him. He didn't even have him 50%.
Bro, let's just get rid of all the players on the roster because they all lied to us.
But he hasn't. But being honest, like that's just a joke. I don't think Will Hernandez has progressed much. I think his rookie year to his second year, he probably progressed just a little bit, and then he's pretty much stayed the same. I mean, he's just a solid dude. I don't think he's worth re-signing. So if we can trade him and get something for him, sure.
The thing is, it's all about the timing.
Exactly, the timing. Exactly. So if we trade him this year and we trade Zeitler, that means we're creating two holes.
That means we got worse.
Even if we replace them with Matt Fielder and with Gabe Jackson, which would be the same amount of cap space probably, we would still be in a situation, I mean, where we have to wait for that new offensive line to gel. I want to just keep the offensive line as similar as possible. If we can have the same five guys, even if that includes Matt Parrott, who people don't really feel that good about, if we just have the same five, I feel better than switching out all of these guys. I just don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, and they better not be keeping Solder.
I really just want to keep the guys, and if anything, add somebody rather than subtract somebody. And the cheapest way to do that would be through draft.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise for me as far as this Kevin Zeitler stuff is because just like a week ago, it came out that the Giants were talking about restructuring Nate Solder's contract. Right? So if we're going to talk about restructuring Nate Solder,
Max, he's gone. NFLPA is not going to allow that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I think the NFLPA will be okay. I mean, coming off of an opt-out with his play, if he went from 16 million to 10 million.
Are we talking about the same NFLPA right here? Oh, you said 16 to 10. Okay.
Because if we cut him, we're saving 10 million. I mean, we're saving the 6 million. So if we just say if we cut you, we save 6 million. So if you want to stay, just take a $6 million pay cut.
You make a good point because you said 60 to 10, but we're not paying Nate Solder $10 million. Even that is too much for him.
I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know what they're doing. They might do it. They might think that he's better than I don't get it, man. I said, the only reason. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. My bad.
I was saying the only reason that I think that there's rumors that they're saying that they're restructuring Nate Solder and they're cutting or trading Zeitler is because when they talked to Solder, he said he's open to work, and Zeitler probably wants to keep his money where it is.
But yeah, Kid Blue was saying the contract is too tempting not to save money on it.
Which contract was he referring to?
I'm assuming he's talking to the Kevin Zeitler.
I would guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he will give you the most money, but what are you going to do with it if you don't bring in like a serious? Well, you better not be doing this to bring back Leonard Williams. That's all I'm saying. And like if we have Kevin Zeitler, if we get rid of Kevin Zeitler and we use that money just to bring back Leonard Williams and we let everybody else walk, and Leonard Williams doesn't get at least 15 sacks, I'm going to have a serious issue.
There was actually a tweet talking exactly to that today with Alex Wilson, who I was arguing with a little bit on Twitter last night, just in a friendly manner. But he says Daniel Jones going into year 3 of his rookie deal, some might say it's make or break. Shredding the offensive line for the defensive line is a risky move, and they should be dooming Jones, and they could be dooming Jones if they roll with a ton of young offensive linemen. I really hope they know what they're doing here.
Man, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't control it. If they want to just destroy Daniel Jones' career, I mean, it seems like they have a pretty good job of doing that. So
if that's where they go, like, here's the thing: the defense, is it going to be worse without Leonard Williams? Yes. Is it going to be much worse? I don't think much worse.
It's an offensive league. Yeah. I understand they say defense wins championships, but we have to be able to make the playoffs to win a championship.
Like, here's the thing, right? Like, subtract Leonard Williams.
Yeah, true.
Let's do this, right? Subtract Leonard Williams from the defense, but add a corner 2 and a middle linebacker 2. I think it almost balances out. Maybe even.
I think it makes it better.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe even makes it better.
Because let's be real. Leonard Williams had games where he didn't show up. He had games where he didn't.
Brooklyn.
Oh, yo, Brooklyn coming over from
I'm here.
Diggy, were you in that stream where they all popped in?
What'd you say?
Were you in the stream where Brooklyn and Alexis popped in?
No.
It was Brooklyn.
Go ahead and elaborate.
And Alexis Texas that popped in my stream, and I was like, "What in the world? What is happening?"
Well, don't let them call
donated.
Don't let them call in. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying if there were games where Leonard Williams just didn't show up, where we couldn't get pressure, and you're not paying that dude 20-something, $23 million if he's not getting pressure every game. You don't have to get hits. And I mean, he had hits and pressures up for the entire season, but there were games where we didn't notice that he was there. So I would rather have the second corner, the second middle linebacker, and an offensive line.
Yeah, no,
and Dalvin Tomlinson. So I mean, I just don't see.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just do a simple, like, it's just thought in your head. We lose Williams, yes, the defense gets worse, but then in the draft, we get that second positions that we're looking for, and the money we save from Williams, we try to use to improve the offensive line somehow with depth or with, I don't know, somehow, right? I mean, I think it's a good deal, a good way to go.
Right.
I'm just laughing at the chat.
Yeah, they're we got a couple of trolls up in here. Not really trolling here, but that's definitely a troll account. And then obviously the other one that I don't really want to highlight here.
Brooklyn, if you're still down, the other night you asked if I was down to make a movie. I'm still down. You ain't hit me up yet.
Nate said, my response to that is you can have Leo, cornerback 2, linebacker 2, and keep your current offensive line except Zeitler.
That's your best offensive lineman, though.
Wait, no. How do you keep Leo? Can you highlight back that comment? I want to make sure I read it correctly. Okay, so I'm assuming he means draft for the cornerback
and linebacker. Yeah.
You keep Leo. You probably lose Dalvin because of that. I still don't think you get Leo. You could afford Leo if the only person you're letting go of is Zeitler. I think you might need to make a little bit more cuts than that.
He says if you're willing to sacrifice Zeitler and get the $12 million, you can do a whole lot more.
You might be able to do that. You might be able to do what he said, but you're missing Kevin Zeitler.
It's going to be tight.
You're missing Kevin Zeitler. You're missing you're not missing anything, but you have questions at right tackle to the point to where some Giants fans are saying that we need to take Rashawn Slater. So you have a weakness at right guard immediately once you get rid of him. You have a weakness at right tackle. People, for some reason, want to move our center over to right tackle. So you'll have a weakness there if you do that. And he's not the best right tackle. So you're creating almost 3 weaknesses by getting rid of one player that is the rock of that right side. He makes up for mistakes that those right tackles make.
Yeah.
I mean,
KB brings up a good point that I've been trying to say for the past couple of weeks. We don't have that much cap in the first place. But
I mean,
Nate
listen.
says he done the math. So that means he's checked it out. What kind of contract did you give Leo? And I do agree with his second stem and the one you just highlighted. I do agree with the second one.
Yeah.
Even though I still think we should keep Zeitler this year, but I do agree with this.
But the thing is, I understand the championship window and all of that, but how are we going to make a championship window if DJ is either injured because he doesn't have protection and he gets sacked like 50, 60 times this year, or he's not here and we have to have another quarterback in here and we're restarting the entire process again.
I will say, if we are re-signing Leo, he's getting more than 20 million.
He's getting about 23.
Yeah, he's getting like 22, 23 if we re-sign him.
And I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we can bring back Leo. We can play with the cap to be able to bring back whoever. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to sign Leo and sign another big free agent. I mean, I'm not really concerned about being able to bring back Leo. It's just we're going to have to backload it. We're going to have to hope that next year the cap really does shoot up because of fans in the stand. And we're going to have to just say, I mean, maybe Saquon is gone because we re-signed Leonard Williams.
Oh,
maybe, maybe all these other people
what are
are
you getting
gone
into right now?
because we signed Leonard Williams. We're going to have to push it back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason I've been against giving Leo more than 20 mil in the first place. And it's looking like it's only going to be more than 20 mil if we re-sign him. So, yeah.
Big Blue says, if the Giants trade or cut Zeitler, should we get Gabe Jackson, former Raiders guard, for the cheap?
I'm just sick of it. What's the point, man? If we cut Zeitler, I'm really my entire.
I'm glad that we're on the same page here. Would just keep Zeitler, man.
Why would we get? I mean, and this isn't me like making fun of what he just said because I'm sure he probably agrees with me. But why would we get rid of Kevin Zeitler and then bring in another veteran when we can literally? I'm sure he doesn't want to take a pay cut, but he probably would take an extension.
Right.
So why wouldn't we just pay Zeitler? $2 million more? Well, okay, let me shut up. If we get something like. If we get a 4th or 3rd round pick for him, I'm okay. If we can, because we can replace him at guard there. But anything else is just unnecessary. Because what are we going to use the money for?
I agree. I ain't even gonna that either. I just agree.
This is something that Joseph brought up. He said, no way I'm taking an offensive lineman in the first. Plenty of good ones in the second, and that's where I target one. Now, me and Joel were talking about this a little bit. But again, for me, that completely depends on how free agency plays out, right? Like, if we do get rid of Zeitler and we release Will Hernandez, like, at that point, or we trade Will Hernandez to the Bears, at that point, like,
I'm going to be launching a startup.
It is the biggest need.
It'll be called Giant South, and I'm signing Daniel Jones to a contract, and I'm bringing Saquon, and I'm giving him an offensive line.
And here's the response to your opinion on that was tough spot for the New York Giants. If the Giants get picks for Zeitler, if he falls, select Wyatt Davis.
You're going to have to trade up for him.
Let's be realistic. What would we get in the scenario that we trade Kevin Zeitler? A 4th, a 5th, maybe? I don't think we're getting.
It'll be a 5th. It'll be a 5th.
Yeah. So we don't even have that much draft capital to trade up. I mean, once again, I've been on the page. Just keep our best offensive lineman. That's all I'm saying.
It just doesn't make sense to get rid of because it wasn't really a strength. And I mean, he was the best pass blocking offensive lineman for the entire year. Maybe Andrew Thomas. If Andrew Thomas next year is an all-pro left tackle, we still have a bad offensive line. If we get rid of Zeitler and Hernandez.
Yeah. Well, and I think really nobody was talking about cutting or trading Hernandez. Maybe Zeitler was brought up the restructure or possibly cutting just because of cap. But I think the moves yesterday between Golden Tate and David Mayo just sparked people to go, you know what, let's just get rid of everything and buy everything new again. And I'm not saying that's people in this chat here, but I've definitely seen it from Giants fans where they just like, screw it, let's just create all the cap space we can by getting rid of everybody who has any more than $5 million contract right now.
What can I say, man? What can I say?
But yeah, I was talking a little bit with Alex Wilson on Twitter yesterday about the he decided to make a tweet about a OBJ Golden Tate comparison, basically saying how it was a failed move because it was 26 million guaranteed in 2 years and he didn't have great numbers. Well, Odell the last 2 years had like 31.5 million and had 300 more yards, one less touchdown.
No. Before you continue, Max, let me say something. We're talking a failed move, as in signing Golden Tate. That is a failed move. So why are you comparing Odell? We didn't trade Odell for Golden Tate. We signed Golden Tate.
No, because he was comparing it to sign Golden Tate as Odell's replacement.
That's what was that not what Golden Tate was signed for?
No. If anyone thought Golden Tate was coming here to put OBJ like
it's not like he was coming here to be the number one receiver.
OBJ numbers, but he was coming here to replace OBJ. Let's not make a mistake about that. He was coming here because Odell Beckham was no longer on the team.
Yeah, he was coming here because we needed another receiver, but he wasn't coming here to be the number one. They probably thought that Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard would step up.
Yeah, I agree with that, but he was here as the Odell Beckham replacement because he was not a guy that came.
Well, what they really expected, they expected Saquon to actually step up.
And he went that, but no, the Tate move was a failed move. I don't know how you could look at that and not say it was a failed move.
I agree.
I mean, the Tate contract, I have mixed feelings about it because Golden Tate, first of all, he wasn't used well this year, and he's like
Jason Garrett.
all
of
this.
If you want to know about Golden Tate struggles, just look at that man, Jason.
Exactly. Garrett. And then last year, he had a decent season. I mean, he had a decent season in 2019. He wasn't the number one like elite receiver, but he had a decent season. And I think, DJ was a rookie. I think with a better quarterback that first year, I think he probably might have had 1,000-yard season. So we'll never know. I mean, Golden Tate was at the end of his career.
And then I'll say this. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say because a lot of people are like, because Dave Gettleman always correlates it to we tried to win and rebuild, and I think that's what the Nate Solder move was. That's what the Golden Tate move was, right? And it doesn't work. But I don't think the Golden Tate contract was a failure, right? It's not like
it was either.
Yeah, I mean, he came here and maybe he was definitely underutilized this year, and he caused some drama in the middle of the season. But I don't think Golden Tate was a failed contract. I'm not upset that he was a Giant for the last 2 years, but I don't know. It definitely was time for him to go just because it made sense financially, not because I don't want Golden Tate on the team. Just it didn't it made sense financially to cut him. But go ahead, Hub.
Yeah, I was gonna say I completely agree with Joseph what he was saying here because I've been saying since the middle of the season, this man, Golden Tate was right when he was basically speaking out about the Giants not using him because they weren't. Jason Garrett really pretended for like 8 weeks of the season as if Golden Tate just wasn't on the roster. Did not use him at all. Did not get him involved. Did not throw him out there even on maybe some rub routes or something. So that's why I was on Tate's side. I'm kind of sad to see so many Giants fans hate on the guy when he genuinely wanted to come to the Giants and he was a Giants fan growing up. Like, that's always sad for me to see because it's not like he didn't do anything wrong. And he didn't do anything bad.
All right, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this off. Golden Tate signed a 4-year, $37 million contract. That's $9 million a year. Can you tell me what number one 1,200, 1,300, 1,400-yard receiver is getting paid $9 million a year that's not on their rookie deal? Can anybody tell me that Golden Tate was brought in here to be a 1,600-yard receiver? What do you expect from someone that's getting paid $9 million a year at the end of his? I don't get it. Maybe we brought him in here to be a number 2 level receiver.
Are you saying that it's a failed contract? It's not a failed contract, right? That's what you're saying, right?
What we paid him for? I look at it just like this.
I look at it like that. It's not a failed contract, but I would say it definitely failed as a move.
I would say maybe the decision to bring him in might not have been the best decision, but look at it this way: Golden Tate at that point was a solid receiver. You could say his production of 2019 was that of a number 2 wide receiver. And he missed the first 4 games. So I think he had like 700 yards and he missed the first 4 games, right?
Oh, 2019? 2019, he was fine.
Yeah, and I'm saying he had like 700 and he missed the first 4 games. So He's looking at around 900 to 1,000 yards that season if he plays the entire season. So then he's getting paid $9 million to put up 1,000 yards. That's a steal. But if you look at the actual move, people say we shouldn't have done it. So what do you expect Daniel Jones to do? Who is he supposed to throw to? We talk about how he has no weapons, and then we give him a solid weapon who was solid in 2019, and people say it's a bad move. We had Sterling Shepard, and we had Evan Ingram, and then we had a 5th-round pick who we didn't know was good. So where are you going to replace that? What are you giving them? I mean, if you can tell me another receiver that was there that we should have signed, then sure. But who else were we supposed to sign that was going to be an affordable contract? Because maybe if Golden Tate was like in the situation that Brandon Marshall was in when he signed with us, and he was like this elite all-time receiver, and we brought him in for like $15 million, then I'd be like, oh, that's a bad move. But he's a solid receiver. We paid him solid receiver money, and he was a solid receiver. And then Jason Garrett ruined his last year.
Yeah, and something Joel brought up when we were talking about it too was it was probably the coaching staff's decision. It probably, like, Golden Tate probably wasn't even a Dave Gettleman decision. If you look at it, all the I saw all day yesterday, all the 2019 offseason free agent acquisitions are now off the team, right? Like Pat Shurmur was probably like, you know what, I'm going to get Daniel Jones, my quarterback that I like, and I think Golden Tate will work well in my West Coast offense.
And he did.
And right. So I don't even think it was a failed move for that purpose, because he wasn't drafted to be a part of the Joe Judge and Jason Garrett system. He was drafted signed by what I think was Pat Shurmur to be in a West Coast offense, and he succeeded.
Do you guys think that this man, Jason Garrett, should start heavily modifying his offense to be more West Coast style, or do you think he should give it another go next year with, better talent with what he ran this year?
I think Daniel Jones could be good in his actual offense, like the philosophy of his offense. He just needs to call better plays. That's the play design is bad, and the timing of the plays that he calls are bad. So the philosophy of we're gonna run the ball, we're gonna aggressively run the ball, we're gonna run play action, and we're gonna take our shots down the field, which that's his offense. But for some reason, we took less shots down the field. But the play design and the plays, it were just bad.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a mix of both. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a West Coast offense, but I do think bringing more weapons in here will force Jason Garrett to have better route trees.
Will it, though?
And
like,
yes.
He could, bro, me and Diggy were just talking last night. He could really misuse somebody that we draft, yo. He could absolutely misuse them.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at the play from Pettis this year, right? When Daniel Jones was under pressure, he started rolling left. Who's the only receiver that ran with him? Dante Pettis. He caught the pass. You get a good receiver who's willing.
That's a receiver doing his thing.
Right, but I'm just saying, you get weapons, and it's going to force the offense to open up with or without Jason Garrett.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's different from what you said initially. You said it would force him to be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think, like I said, I wanted Jamar Chase because he's completely Jason Garrett proof. Everything that Jason Garrett calls, and the same thing pretty much with Waddle and Devontae Smith too. Like,
Waddle.
They're like, Waddle on a curl route is going to be disgusting because he's going to be wide open because they're scared of him going deep.
That's Garrett's favorite route this past season, man.
So if you want to run a curl route with Waddle, I'd be fine because he'll be open. And the times where he doesn't run that curl and he goes deep, he's going to be a threat. So we got to have people to overcome it. Yeah, we got to have Jason Garrett proof, guys. Joseph Clark said no one's Garrett proof. Yeah, you might be right.
You might be right.
You know who was Garrett proof? Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens is everybody proof.
Yeah, so, that's all we need. We just need a Terrell Owens. How hard can that be?
It's easy.
How hard, right?
Just get them in the fifth round. You always get good players in the fifth round.
I do enjoy talking Giants, and I know a lot of you are Giants fans because that's all the people I've interviewed. But also, this is for you guys to ask any questions about the people that are here as well too. So if you guys want to throw more questions of that in the chat, we'll sit here and keep talking Giants if that's what you want. But my channel is all about getting to know content creators. So if you have more questions,
go ahead
and drop it in the chat.
Toss us the personal life questions. That's literally what we're here for. You're not going to get it any other time. That's what Max is all about, guys. Come on now.
Right. Viz says, "How would you guys feel if we signed Curtis Samuel, trade Ingram, and draft Pitts?"
How much are we signing him to?
It doesn't matter. I don't. Whatever. Whatever.
I don't know, because I'm still not a complete like Pitts guy yet. I don't
I am,
particularly
but
like that. I don't
Here's
know.
your answer: 10 mil.
10 mil for Samuel. Did we re-sign everybody? Actually, I don't even know. Viz, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know. The cap is so whack. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just whack. So I
I
can't
don't
even
know.
say. Like, I'm sorry. I see it a little bit on Diggy, but we look burnt out because the cap is just out of whack, bro. Like, there's nothing you could do.
I mean, once we brought up Zeitler being cut, like it doesn't matter. I mean, we want to go back into 4 years ago where we didn't have anything on the offensive line. Cut Zeitler. Go ahead and do it. Cut Zeitler. Take Jamar Chase. Take Tamori Terry in the third round. Take all of the receivers you want, and we won't have protection. And then we'll be talking about Daniel Jones has all these weapons, and he can't. Yeah, he won't get blocks. So I don't. I'm as Nate said. I'm checked out. If they cut Zeitler, I'm checked out.
All right, we got Logan's question here. We asked a similar question in the podcast, but like I said, if you guys want to touch on it or if you have a different answer, he said, "What is one of the hardest moments in your guys' lives that defined you as a person?"
Oh, you could go with this one first, Diggy.
Okay, so I started off in college as a bio major, and I switched to psychology because I found that like that was something I really loved. So I switched over to that, and like after my first semester of switching to that, and like my best semester grades wise and everything, I had to leave because of money. So I had to leave school because of money, and I went to school that summer. I didn't go to school. I finished school up and went into my summer. I ended up getting a job. I got that job so I could save up for a car, but I didn't know that job would just end up just being my job for like the next year. I forgot about the car because I was worried about saving up for school. But I ended up going to work for this fast casual restaurant kind of place. Man, it was a good job to have. I mean, as someone who's young, because I was getting paid. I was working like 70 hours a week, cleaning kitchen floors, washing dishes, cooking. Like there was like times where I would be taking people's orders, having to go back and cook the food. and then we got people in line telling me like, "Where's my food?" I'm like, "Do you see anybody else in here that's cooking? How do you expect it to get made?" But and then we had Uber Eats beeping and stuff. That was like the most traumatic time in my life because it was just constant, just having to fill people's orders, having to do this, and it just made me just really just say I can't wait until I go back to school. But I think during that time, it definitely showed me that I have a really strong work ethic. Doing like 70-hour weeks over and over and over again is a lot. And yeah, that definitely defined me because I'm actually someone who likes working, but that's a whole different, that's a whole different level.
Hub, I'm gonna go ahead and share something with the people that are here, especially for you guys that I've talked to about it, and then you can go ahead and tell your story. I was talking with Joel a little bit today. So a lot of you guys know I recently separated from active duty military, and I moved back to New York, and I joined the Air National Guard. And that's just a 1 weekend a month gig. So I've been kind of trying to find something. Had a couple of interviews. I got phone calls today saying I didn't get the full-time guard positions, but I was offered it's like a temporary technician position. And it's not what I was making, but it's definitely a serviceable income that'll carry me at least until October. So I got some good news today about that, and that's probably like the hardest moment in my life that defined me as a person. Could very well be this, right? Because definitely when you uproot your family and you move across the country just to try to be closer to family, taking a leap of faith that you're going to have some work somewhere, it can lead to some stressful situations. So I guess that's part of my answer. I mean, I have 3 kids, so every moment is hard, but that's probably one of the hardest moments that I've faced recently. Anyways, go ahead, Hub.
I got a similar one to Diggy with working at a smoothie shop, but because that was what came to my mind when you asked him. Because Diggy had a similar one in the whole like basically food service industry, which is very stressful and people really don't understand it. I also worked in the retail industry as a cashier, which is also all very stressful and nobody got sympathy for you there. No customers care about what's going on. They just want their things done at a certain time. I'll talk about though when I was 11 and I used to live with my cousins and we used to live in this one house and burned down
Wow.
and everybody was basically out on the street for like a couple of weeks, just living in hotels and whatnot. And that year, from like 11 to 12, moved probably like 9 times in that one year, trying to find somewhere to stay at. So that was definitely one of the
Wow.
hardest times in my life, right there. Yeah.
And then I guess that'll kind of lead into Joel's question here. Can
Joel,
Hub tell me more of
that was
his
the
moving
biggest
to New
challenge.
York
I mean,
City and the differences, challenges he had?
like that was the biggest one. You at one point you move from hotel to hotel, house to house, just place to place, finding somewhere to stay, somewhere to live, and it's not easy because you're brand new to the city and whatnot. You're brand new to everything. You're just trying to find some place to stay. School, as you can imagine, was not easy at all while doing that because I'm in different parts of the city, still commuting to the same school. That means at one point I had to get up at 5:30 to get 5:30 to get to school at 7:30 and stuff like that. Like it wasn't easy, but eventually, like after I'd say the fourth time, you got used to it. Like you just adapted. And so, I mean, at that point in my life, I was very organized because you had to be. If you wasn't, you were gonna suffer. So at that point was where I just became a complete studious. Like I became the most studious student ever because I had to be, and it was the most organized person you could meet. Not so organized now, but for it served me
Look
well
at Biz.
throughout my
Look at Biz in the chat.
Was
I'm not big chilling
oh.
yet, bro. But the goal is to be big chilling someday.
All right. Well, I'll keep looking for more questions like that, but if not, we'll get back to the Giants questions just to kind of fill the space. Jaden
Yes.
says, "Would y'all like a linebacker in the second round or a cornerback too?" For me, I'm gonna go back to the whatever happens in free agency. But right now, if the team stays as is and we don't address either one in free agency, I'd rather take a linebacker because I trust the process of floating people like Love and Yadam at least for another year, and that's just where I'm at.
I'm an Adebo guy, and he's going to go probably in the third or fourth round. So I think he can be our second corner. But looking at the second round, it pretty much just depends who's there. If Chaz Surratt goes there, I wouldn't be mad. If someone falls to us, like maybe people don't like JOK's weight, Owusu Koromoa's weight, and he falls there, I'd take him. Zaven Collins, if Nick Bolton somehow finds himself there, I'd take him. But it just depends who's there. If we have a corner prospect that I really like in the second round, and I think we take him. But there's a lot of ways we can go in that second round. It just depends who's on the board.
Right. What about you, Hub?
Well, I've been both. Really, you guys noticed for both of my mock drafts. In the first one, I had a corner in the second, and the second one, I had the linebacker in the second and a corner in the third. So I'm either one. I'm honestly, it's kind of like what Diggy said. Whoever's there, and he brought up Adebo. Adebo is somebody I love a lot. I mocked him to us in mock draft 2.0 in the third round. Problem is, you don't know exactly if he's gonna go there. Like, there's a chance he might go just a little before us.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a really good corner. Like, there's concerns about him, but it's like the potential and the ceiling is so high with him that I could 100% see him going before the third round, which is why in the video, because I had Chad Surratt in the second, Paulson Adebo in the third, I was like, you could switch these two picks and I would still think it's believable. Like, you could have Paulson Adebo in the second and Chad Surratt in the third, and I'm like, yeah, that could happen because that's just how the way it could go.
Yeah. Jaden says, "My guy Hub grinding and striving for greatness."
You already know, bro. And I saw somebody asking what were houses like
Where
in
was this at?
Guyana.
Did I miss this?
Oh, that's what Benny said.
I'm gonna try and pull up on Google
Benny.
Maps and see if Google Maps has a street view because that would be pretty cool. So I
That
mean,
would be cool.
I'll share my screen.
Yeah, I must have missed that. Oh, here we go. I got it. There we go.
There you go. I'll share my screen. You'd have to add it, but I'm gonna try and find around the area that I lived. So anyway, this is where Guyana is, right? As you can see, South America. This small little country right here. You got Brazil and the Amazon right to the south of us, Venezuela to the east. That's west, right? Yeah, I'm not too good with things to the west of us. Funny story. Venezuela, for like since basically Guyana got its independence, has always been fighting with us for like this entire left half, saying that that's their land, and Brazil has been fighting with us for the entire southern half, saying that's their land. So that's pretty interesting. And even though we have like pretty good relationships with them, and I said it in Joel's podcast, it's really underdeveloped. Like it's one of the only countries in the world that still has a bunch of natural forests, rivers, and whatnot. And you can see that reflected right here. It's like 95% just forest. Like most of the people live right around here, and then here, and then like at these points right here, like everywhere else is just straight up forest, bro. I don't know. Can I activate satellite view? There it is. Yeah, it's just straight up forest, bro. Like literally, it's just unexplored forest.
Jesus.
Nothing but unexplored forest. The capital and biggest city right here, Georgetown. If you view in, like, that's it, right? That's the settlement. Like, then all this is forest. Like, that's just how it is. And I lived. Like, it's gonna take a lot of zooming if I can find it. This is where my mom lived when she was a kid.
Is that like a canal there?
Where?
Right there.
That's a river,
To
bro.
the left. Oh, is it? Yeah, that goes deep.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Burby's River. Okay. It's gonna be around here somewhere. All right. Somewhere right on this curve. Is this it? 1, 2, 3. I think that might be it. Can I activate? I think this is it, guys. Yeah, this is where I lived way back in the day, right here. This little village right here. I was on the 3rd Street. Somewhere here is my house. Somewhere right there.
Is that house still in the family?
Yeah. Still there, but as you can see by satellite view, mostly just completely underdeveloped, which is kind of a own beautiful thing in its own right. So unexplored, like literally just natural wildlife and everything there untouched. South America in general is kind of like that, where it's like it's one of the only continent actually to still have its natural forest still going strong, and basically nobody troubling the wildlife and whatnot. Yeah, and somewhere if I could find Mount Roraima, which by its name is a mountain, it's one of the oldest mountains in the world, around here somewhere. Yeah, Park National de Roraima, one of the oldest mountains in the world, 4 billion years old.
Joel
Right
says,
there.
which ditch did you crash in?
Which ditch did I crash? All right, I can find that because I just got to zoom back in. Now that I know where it was, I just got to...
While you're doing that, I see everybody talking about Joel's beard in the chat. He says he might not be bearded much longer. I do feel a bit out of place here. Y'all both rocking some facial hair. I got to shave that every day. I don't have a choice, so...
Oh, man, I remember this right here, this little trench. But I crashed in a smaller one. It was like one of these side ones. It's not showing up on the satellite, but one of the side ones, basically. Yeah.
And Benny says, please
don't
wrong
take
one.
the beard away.
Yeah. Were there any cool animals in Guyana?
I mean, yeah, bro, it's a rainforest. Any you could think of. I said on the podcast as well, there's a new one discovered literally every week. There's new animals discovered because now they're having researchers go in there to find them and whatnot, and mostly fish, because like I told Joel as well, it's the nickname for the country is the land of many waters. Like has some, like most rivers in the world by a country, I think, or it's in that list.
It says chameleons.
Yeah. Why do you call him Dante?
I think he's talking to you.
No, he's talking about Emmanuel Brito. Okay, that's actually a picture of Dante.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was some.
But yo, you know what? The national animal is a jaguar, so that's pretty cool. Let's see.
Facts. Nate says big time trip down memory lane for Hub 100%, right now.
Bro. There's armadillos. There's caimans, which is in the family of crocodiles. The arapaima, which is the world's largest freshwater fish, and they discovered an even bigger species of it in Guyana, like back in 2015. Bunch of different monkeys. A lot of monkeys, manatees, a lot of different bats as well, and spiders. Oh yeah, there's like the gigantic huntsman spider as well in the forest. Yeah, bunch of different animals. I mean, literally any animal you could think of, basically.
Joel says, was the cartel a problem where you lived?
Nah, the cartels don't really exist. Maybe towards the more Venezuelan side. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say probably over there.
But like I said, most of the settlement is on the eastern side of the country anyway. So there's that. It's funny because if you go to the Venezuelan and like Brazilian borders part of the country, it's almost like you're in a different country because they don't really speak
Huh.
English that much down there, and it's like different culture, which is amazing in its own way.
All right, I got a question for y'all, and I'll go ahead and show mine. But do y'all got any different like body markings here? I got a tattoo right here. It's a Bible verse and my wedding date in Roman numerals. And then for you guys who don't know, I'm a photographer on the side, so I went and got a tattoo of my camera with some color splash behind it there.
The
You
only
guys got any ink?
The only, not any ink, but you're saying body mark. The only body mark I can show on camera is the
Oh
one on my
god.
finger. It's the finger isn't even getting focused on the camera that much, but there's basically a giant split there.
If you put your hand behind it, maybe it will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see it clearly. There's a gigantic split because that's where my finger broke when I was working in construction, and the bone had to be like basically set back.
Yeah, I don't have
What about you, Diggy? Anything? Piercings, tattoos, nothing?
never had any of that.
This is your only body marking right here.
Yep.
And it doesn't even show that well on camera. Like he put it up, and I barely saw it.
You'll care
There
about
you
this,
go.
Hub. Jon Snow Targaryen says Knicks W before All-Star break.
But they were playing tonight. Did they win? Yes, they did.
Yeah,
Let's
they
go.
won.
Let's go. We're still fourth in the East, I think. I want to say. Oh, we're fifth.
God,
We're fifth.
this chat. Thick fingers. I love sexy fingers. Oh my
Oh,
god. They're coming at you
Of course
tonight,
it's
Hub.
Viz. It's Viz.
Vist up in the chat. So you guys got any questions for me? Because the entire interview I sat on this end of it. Any feedback, anything like you guys think that I should be asking that was missing?
I don't know.
like I said, I mean, I really thought you did a really good job interviewing. I think you're a really natural interviewer.
Yeah, I agree. Like you somehow, some way covered almost every facet.
Yeah, it felt like a real professional interview.
Yeah.
I just try to keep the conversation going. Like I do have like a list of some questions. Like if the conversation starts to slow down, right, then I can jump to this and be like, oh, how about that? But for the most part, I just try to have a conversation because, like I said, this podcast is all about just relaxing and getting your mind off of the things that you talk about every day. And I know during the live here, the chat has kind of directed us back in the direction of the content that you guys cover, which is fine. I'm a Giants fan. I like talking Giants, but I know it can get a bit overwhelming for you people who do it day in, day out,
I took a break
video
today.
after video.
Yeah, I took a break today.
So-
I was like, because I had classes today, and I'm like, all right, I got a break, like a break between classes. I'm like, this is usually where I would go and record and make one. And I'm like, it was a slow news day, and I was already thinking to myself, man, I just want to take a break today. So I just took the break, and I didn't make one today.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to get out a video today. It just didn't happen. I do have videos up that are unlisted right now, but I'm kind of holding off on them.
Videos that members have access to?
Yeah,
Or just completely unlisted?
I have one up that's up for members. I'm uploading two more that are going to be up for members, and those are going to be the Jalen Phillips and Terrace Marshall film sessions. I'm going to put those up for members tomorrow. Right now, I have a draft up for members, so I'll probably make that draft public tomorrow or something. But yeah, I didn't really record anything today. I haven't made
Right.
a video about the Golden Tate stuff, so probably won't. Probably wait until something else big happens.
We got another question from Benny here. He said, just a YouTube general question. What editing software / thumbnail makers do you guys use?
I use Final Cut and then I use PixArt. Sometimes I use Photoshop, but I mean it's kind of more work than more work than it's worth.
Yeah, I use Premiere to make all my videos. The Adobe Suite. I don't pay for it, so never pay for it because it's way too expensive. Guys, find another way to get it. And for my thumbnails, I tried, or I should try to get over to PixArt more because they use it, KB uses it, a lot of YouTubers use it. But as of right now, I use it's an online one called Pixlr, Pixlr. Then it's pretty convenient and easy to use.
Yeah, I don't really edit much stuff. I had to edit the Hubs interview a little bit this week at the end just because I made an oopsies recording. So when I did that, I used Adobe Premiere Pro just because I had a 7-day free trial for it, and I already use Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop for my photography. So it's just a click of a button, and I installed it. But for recording, I record all of my episodes through OBS, and I use Zoom calls to interview everybody. So hopefully that answers your question. You got some different variety between all of us.
I'd have
Maybe you
to
can
check,
look at some new
but I'm
things,
gonna stream right now.
and it'll be advantageous to your channel, hopefully for you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
If
We got
the
we got anything else in the chat here?
wants to see a video I'm working on now, I can show them that in Final Cut. Sneak peek.
Yeah. If you want to share your screen, I'll go ahead and throw it up.
Let's see what we got. I'll let this play through one more time. And that's just the start of it.
Hey,
That's just
My
a
guy.
glimpse.
All pure fire.
That's just a glimpse of back into my editing bag.
there's the teaser.
That's going to be part of my top 5 college wide receivers for the draft.
Jaden says, "Will y'all use Premiere Pro?" If I can get it as part of my deal that I already pay for my photography stuff through Adobe, then yes. If not, then probably not, because Premiere Pro is very expensive on its own.
Yeah, I have it. I just don't use it. I have it.
It's also like you've used Final Cut for a while now, right? So you just know it better. Because I've tried going over to Final Cut before, because I've heard it was easier to use than Premiere Pro, but at that point I was just so used to Premiere that to learn Final Cut would have been a minute for me.
Yeah, I have the entire Adobe suite for free because of my school, but only thing I use is Photoshop occasionally.
Logan says, "What made you guys start your YouTube?" Diggy, you want to start this one?
Yeah. When I was in about 6th or 7th grade, my middle school gave us computers. I actually went to Howard University's middle school. They have like a middle school they sponsor, but when I was about 7th grade, I had to be 7th grade. I was just on YouTube and I saw somebody by the screen name of Robbie111, and he made a video talking about like the last Giants game that had happened. And I was like, people are actually on here talking about football. So then I see the whole TTC thing. It was called the Giants Mafia back then. Group of Giants people, Big Blue Commission, making videos. The leader on that was Mythos 1966. And I was just excited to see people on there talking about the Giants. So within about 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, within probably about 2 days, actually, I got Robbie 911. Robbie 111 is a legend. That dude only had about 200 subs or something back then, but back then that was more than what it is now. But that dude is a legend because he's the reason that I started making videos, and that's somebody that's not even known. Cop Pizzle was making videos back then too. Bad Dog was making videos back then, but it was just exciting to get on there. And back then it was based in all trash talk. It was based in all trash talk, and we had to come on there and talk trash. And in about 2016, I was starting to get tired of having to talk trash about the Giants and saying that we're going to win every game. So then I transitioned over to trying to make more just objective content. I made a film session on he went on Robbie 111's channel. I actually made a film session about Evan Ingram. It was when he was coming out of the draft, and I said, is Evan Ingram a bad pass blocker? And I showed or is he a bad blocker? Because people said he couldn't block. And I had tape after tape of him blocking in college. So that video did pretty well. And that was my start of trying to make objective content. And then I just kind of took a hiatus, did some highlight videos. And then about last year and the end of February, I just came back and I said, I'm going to take this serious.
What about you, Hub? Why did you start your YouTube channel?
So it didn't even start with the what you can call it with Giants things for me. Started with RDC World 1, this comedic group that I absolutely still love and watch to this day. Still make skits. They inspire me because they just bet on themselves, kind of like Darnay Holmes. Shout out to Darnay Holmes. They bet on themselves and it worked out. They like basically gave up everything they had, invested it into an idea for this YouTube channel because it was what they were passionate about. It worked out. They're now 4 million subscribers strong, known by like almost every single NBA player because some of their most popular skits are about the NBA. But it's just, yo, and those guys really got me thinking about it. And then I started seeing guys like Ron Effect on YouTube, who I was subbed up to. Tate was one of the first guys I saw as well. And I'm like, I don't have the chops to do the comedic side, but I think I could get on here and talk football. And eventually along the way, it became talking football and just developing my skills as well, like I mentioned before with the video stuff.
Right. Yeah, I initially was gonna make a New York Giants channel, and I talked about this in probably both your interviews. And I am a Giants fan, but I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as a lot of Giants content creators, nor do I have the time to dive that deep into it with a wife and 3 kids and flipping my life upside down right now. So I just took something that I thought was missing, and getting to know the people that you watch. And even if nobody that watches this has an interest in that, I enjoy making the episodes, so I just wanted to start the channel because I know it's something I'll enjoy, getting to sit down with people and just talk about themselves. And I know a lot of content creators who've come on have enjoyed just getting a break from their normal stuff that they talk about all the time. Oh, is that
I'm
true,
looking at
Hub?
the chat.
Is that true, Hub?
100% true. I love taking a break. Not
We're gonna be on the
Is
real
that why you
episode.
muted the mic? Is that why you muted the mic?
The reason I left was because actually
You got
I
a
was-
voice message. You
I
got a
left.
voice message.
I left because what you call it. I was still finishing up the work for my web dev class, and I literally figured it out. And I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry, I got a dip." Figured it out. Do you use GitHub, Diggy?
Yeah.
I figured it out, bro. I committed it. I pushed it. Made sure the push went through. Make sure there was no commit issues. And I was like, "All right, I'm done." And I went back in because it's like once you figure something out, bro, with like
Exactly. You
any
got
type
it.
of program, any type of coding language, you got to do it right away. Otherwise, it's
Exactly.
gonna
That's
leave your
gonna be
mind.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's what I had to do.
I use R. I do a little bit of Python, but most of the stuff I do is based on stats, like
Yeah,
big data.
I start off with Python. I'm officially proficient in C++. Like I could code almost anything.
I'm
in
not
C++.
touching that. I'm not touching
It's a real
that.
complicated language.
Is C++ still like the common language? I thought it moved to Java now. No.
I don't know if it moved, but the reason my school taught C++ is because it's one of the most common higher level languages.
Okay.
I don't know Java, but I'm now learning JavaScript. Just started learning HTML and CSS and stuff like that for web dev. And like this class today, we started learning React for JavaScript. Yo, I told Brooklyn, bro. Brooklyn knows my Twitter at, bro. I don't know your Twitter at, Brooklyn, so you gotta hit me up.
Oh God.
You got to send a picture with his phone.
This is taking a different turn for sure.
It
But
always does.
I do want to take a moment, and I know it's nothing huge, but this week I was able to get up over 50 subs, and I know it's not like anything big, but
No, that is big, man.
I've only
big,
put
yeah.
5 episodes out there, so I just want to say thanks to everybody who's came in here, especially you guys who are watching now. I appreciate all the support. In 5 episodes, over 50 subs is more than I could have ever thought. Just because I am doing it only once a week, right? Like I'm not grinding like you guys doing several videos a day, or if not, just at least a couple a week. I'm sitting down once a week and having a conversation, just doing something I enjoy. So for people to come in here and hit the sub button, to get up over 50 in this amount of time, I do appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, no,
Congratulations, man.
50 is a milestone, bro. That's 50 people. You could legitimately fill a room with 50 people, bro.
Well, I mean, we
good.
got 16 in here right now listening to us, so.
I'm
Exactly.
telling you, man. Listen, to have even 16 people watching your thing live is really an accomplishment, man.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
I see
I mean,
people with 50,000 subs that have like 20 people watching.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
I'd rather
something
have
big,
50
man.
subs and 16 people watching than 50,000 subs and 10 people watching. You
You
know
know,
what I mean?
Diggy speaking facts, bro. When I first started live streaming, I was at 700 subs. One person was watching, and it was me on my other account. So to have 16 people watching, bro, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll definitely check out your channel sometime, Benny. I know you've been asking me. I will definitely do that. Just like I said, life has been absolutely nuts lately. I've barely had the time to sit down and record these episodes. So yes, I will check out your channel, and I will reach out to you if you have a Twitter. I will reach out to you there. If not, we'll figure out some way to get it going. So I was kind of holding out because there was a possibility we were going to get another person up on here tonight. But if you guys don't have any more questions, Diggy Hub, you guys got some more time or no?
I got a little bit more. Yeah, I got a little bit more time.
Yeah, a little bit. I can go for like until 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I low key, now that you guys took me down memory lane, I'm low key want some more questions about like my childhood. But,
all right, bet.
Yeah.
Give him some questions about his childhood.
Yeah. But you guys are gonna have to ask it.
But you can do it through here.
Yeah.
There you
You're
go.
gonna have to ask it though.
If you want to do it, go ahead and hit that. Go ahead and join in the call. We'll get you one question, and then if we get a bunch of people in here, we'll just go ahead and move on. If not, we'll get somebody on here and we'll talk for a little bit and we'll close it out. But you guys were asking. I was holding out because I thought there might be another guest possibly. That didn't happen. So if you want to jump in here, go ahead and jump in here. I'll go ahead and wait a couple minutes. We'll just chit chat. Hub, do you got any specific stories that you want to talk about?
No, the thing is, when you guys ask it, that's when it comes into my mind. That's why I'm like, you're gonna have to ask it for me to like respond.
Right. All right. Well, we do got one person in here already, so we'll go ahead and bring him on. He's a huge fan of yours, Hub. I know that. So without further ado, how's it going, Logan?
What's up?
What's good?
Logan, before you ask him, I gotta ask you, why do you always type in caps?
Oh,
we gotta get noticed.
Hold up. Pause. This is the person. He's here. My guy. The entertainer talking sports.
I need like 1 second.
We need 1 second. Shout out to Tate. Tate's just coming in from a Knicks stream, and the Knicks are above 500, guys.
What's up? I said I'd pop in. I didn't even know if you were still alive. I just clicked in. I'm like, hopefully you're still alive. What's up, guys?
Yes, I appreciate you coming. We've been having a great time. People have been asking questions. This stream idea was just kind of to allow people who watch the episodes to ask questions that maybe they wanted more clarification on from the episodes, from people that I've already interviewed, or asked questions that weren't asked. We did talk about Giants a little bit, of course, with that Kevin Zeitler slip. We don't know if it's true or not, but that was a little bit of conversation.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Because I'm doing the Knicks game and everybody is blowing up my stream saying Zeitler. So I didn't even think to like check it, because like literally everybody in the chat. So I just said, guys, I heard about it. I'll do a video tomorrow. And then people are saying fake news. So I what's the deal with that?
I told you, Max. I told you, because Max brought it up, and he showed us the tweet, and I was like, the first thing that came to mind is it true? Even though it was from a verified account, I'm like, this is kind of coming out of nowhere. So is it true? That was the first thing you got to think about.
Yeah. I really don't want to trade him or cut him, because DJ will get sacked a lot more and he won't be able to show anything. So people will be like, bust, get him out.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I understand if they do it because of the cap situation, but I'm not in favor of. I want to extend them and try to knock down the cap at this year. That's what I'd like to do, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't think they're gonna be able to get anything for him if they're trying to trade him. He makes too much money.
Yeah. All right, Logan.
Yeah.
What's your question you want to ask here? Because this room's filling up quick now that Tate is here. People want to talk to the man.
Okay, this is for the Hub specifically. What's the most interesting thing that ever happened to you when you were a kid in Guyana?
The most interesting thing, huh? All right, let me think for a second.
What a great question.
Weird or interesting or funny?
Right,
just
so,
weird.
I gotta ask my mom the name of this. I'm gonna mute real quick.
How was your stream over there for the Knicks? Was it a good stream?
They won. Whenever they win, it's a good stream.
Alright, no worry. We could just try to explain it to them so they can understand. So, there's like a mini dam. Yeah, it's basically a dam, right? Yeah, so there's like a mini dam on the trench that I showed you guys that was at the beginning of the village on Google Maps, right? That bigger trench. there's a mini dam to regulate the water. It's not like a full size thing, wooden dam, right? Every now and again, the neighbor that lives across from me would go over there to make sure it's taken care of. I don't know how he got that responsibility, but he had it on a small
He just
wooden boat.
wanted the responsibility.
You know,
So he did.
one time we joined them, and on the way over there, going down the trench, I was like, "Yo, this is about to be fun." Yo, when I tell you that place was packed with caiman, bro, the crocodile relatives. When I tell you it was packed, it was packed.
I
all
love
in the water.
caiman.
I'm looking over. I'm like,
Wait, what is what? I didn't
we
even,
really doing this right now?
what the hell's a
I'm looking like,
caiman? What is that?
It's
It's
pronounced
like a crocodile.
It's
I see
caiman.
the tail
It's
over there
pronounced
swiveling
caiman.
around in the water. I'm like, we really doing this? And at one point, you have to hop out the boat, walk through, and sometimes swim through the trench because it got shallow, so the boat wouldn't go on. I'm like, I'm not getting in that water. Do you not see that apex predator staring at me, bro?
Please don't talk
We
about
had to
apex
do it.
predators,
It was
man.
like, oh, Diggy, I
Please
think
no.
you're muted. It's like a consequence of, you know, me just wanting to go and experience it. But the thing is, that's a normal childhood thing again, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like very country in a way. To put it in more US terms, like, yeah, I grew up on the countryside. I guess I was a
I
country kid.
held an alligator
That's
before.
just how it goes. You had to learn how to handle yourselves against the wild animals and stuff.
So
you
you
know?
swim with an
That's how it
alligator.
was.
You swim with a wild alligator, essentially.
Is everybody muted or is it just me?
It's your sound. Your
Okay,
sound.
okay, I can
Can
hear
you guys hear
now.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, please don't bring up apex predators. 'Cause all I could think about was Odell and Sterling Shepard and Victor Cruz.
Bro, I
Yeah,
love
no.
reptiles. I've held an alligator before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a reptile as a pet, my turtle.
All right, Logan. Well, thanks for calling in. I got a couple other people I want to get in here, but
All right,
you
thanks
have a
for
good
having
night,
me.
man. All right, we welcome on next the man.
Oh, Tate did.
It slipped. It slid. Jaden, how we doing, bro?
Go.
There was popping.
What's up, Jaden?
We got Max, we got Logan, Darius Slade Jr., we got Hub, and we got Tate.
What up? What up?
And I got a question for y'all though.
What's that?
What was the biggest challenge that y'all faced with growing up?
Growing up,
Um,
huh?
Yeah. I
You're
mean,
talking like as a kid and youth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could take that one, Diggy.
I don't know, man. I mean, my childhood was really fun. Maybe one challenge I faced was probably being an only child for most of my life. Yeah, I mean that would probably be it because it was kind of tough to have people to hang out with, pretty much as a young kid at least.
Other than the biggest, which was the question earlier, was the hardest moment in your life, and it was like the house burning down, and I had to move 9 times in 1 year. Like other than that, because I think that would probably go right there as the largest challenge is my childhood
Right.
because I was still a kid. Other than that, I'm thinking towards Guyana days now. It would probably be just learning how to manage yourself in a village where it's like when you're out there playing by yourself, you just got to be careful and you can use common sense. Both because of the animals around and because you don't want anybody to come and kidnap you at all. So yeah,
Right.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to top that. I'm not gonna be able to top, swim with wild alligators. But no, I would say my parents splitting up when I was a kid. That was probably my hardest challenge. When I was probably 11 or 12. I don't even. Yeah, I was around that age, and my dad moved away shortly after that. So I would say that was probably my hardest challenge growing up as a kid.
I'm gonna kind of follow off of that, Tana. My parents split when I was super young, but it was due to an alcohol addiction by my father. So that kind of led to like a messy life growing up because they still never got along, and you just I hardly ever saw my dad because of his choice to choose the alcohol. But it is what it is. Everybody goes through something,
Yeah, makes you stronger.
You got anything else for us, Jaden?
Listen, in the second round, right? Would y'all go with corner, like a Patrick Certain? If he's somehow available, would you go with Chaz Surratt?
you said Patrick
Certain
In the second round?
I mean, anybody could be drafted though.
Listen, Jaden. If Patrick Stern is in the second round at 42, it's a no-brainer.
He's probably got some serious issues if he's there in the second round. You might not even want him.
I mean, McKinney was there in the second. He was supposed to go 15th.
Yeah, but he's not
That's
a
true.
corner.
There
I
ain't
agree.
no way Patrick Surtain's going to be in there in the second round.
Yeah, I'm saying if
I
he's there,
guarantee you
yeah.
that. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
There ain't
If
no
he's
way
there in the
gonna be
second round, that means that he probably has some like off the field stuff, but I doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a realistic linebacker or a corner at the second round, I'm going linebacker all day just because where I sit with the New York Giants, I'm a believer in the rotation at this point between Love and Yadam for at least this year, right? I don't think cornerback 2 is as big of a need for us as linebacker 2 next to Blake. Tate Crowder was serviceable, but he's still a rotational guy in my opinion.
So, Max,
So
I'll
that's
ask you
just my
then.
opinion.
Would you do what I did in mock draft 2.0, which is go Chaz in the second and then a guy like a Debo in the third?
If Chaz is available in the second, I'm definitely taking him. As long as we go wide receiver first round or weapon in the first round, and I would, if a Debo Samuel is there, I would go him as well. But it's all based on who's there on the board and if these Zeitler rumors are true or not.
This chat right now is a little bit ridiculous.
What's that? Oh my god! I see
Oh
it.
my God!
You got to go check your attic, man.
Calm down.
I'm glad I can't see the comments.
You got to go check your attic, Hub, because
Good thing I live in an apartment building.
Exactly.
What about you, Tanner? You want to give your
Attic.
thoughts on the
linebacker versus corner. I actually think corner is more important, but at this point, I think that they're going to address corner in free agency. I really believe that. I think they're going to get a moderate corner in free agency as the cornerback 2. And if they do that, well, then obviously, I'm leaning. I think I'm leaning offensive line in the second round, especially if they let Zeitler go. If these rumors are true, either a guard or a tackle. But I wouldn't be opposed to taking an edge or a linebacker there in the second round, depending on what you do in the first. But I really think we're gonna fix. We're gonna patch up the cornerback 2 in free agency. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
All right, Jaden. Any last thoughts, brother?
Well, I just want to ask: was that definitely influenced by us freeing up the $9 million? Tanner?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
No, I knew
What were
they
you
were.
thinking of before
I
that?
knew they were at $9 million anyway. I think that was obvious. We were going to cut Mayo and Tate. I just look at the corner market right now, and I think we're going to be able to get one of those guys for a pretty cheap price because nobody has money. And I think the Giants are going to look at it like, yeah, we could use a more experienced guy that's safer, bring in here on a 2-year deal, $10 million, something cheap like that. I think that's what we're looking at. Maybe a guy like a little bit better than Cockrell, but that type of corner to bring in here to shore up that position. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
If Levi Wallace, if we can get him, I think he's a good match for us from the Bills. But he's a restricted free agent, so you're going to have to match whatever the Bills are offering him. But
I don't know. I don't know who. I've brought up Rhodes. I've brought up the guy from the Bengals. What's his name?
Jackson. He's going for like more than 10 per round.
Yeah, he's going to get too much. But there's going to be somebody out there that I think we can get at a pretty cheap price, and I think that's going to be one of the positions they sign.
Right.
I could be wrong.
All right. Any last thoughts there, Jaden, before we get on the next guest?
I mean, everybody, you could sub to Matt's channel, Tana's channel, stand up.
Hey.
Channel here.
Here.
We're gonna need better routes for you this year, bro. Come on.
I got
please.
you, man.
What you mean you got us?
Got you.
All right.
Trust me, he's been working on it, bro.
Trust me. All you gotta do is not pull a Evan Ingram. Don't fumble and catch the ball. Because against the Bengals, you dropped a deep pass and that touchdown.
I was tired because I was playing defense.
Nah. There's no excuses. We don't do excuses.
Bro, he's the only player in the NFL that plays
Exactly.
free safety,
I'm a
corner,
throwback player.
and wide receiver.
I'm a throwback player.
Oh yeah, and Logan Ryan. We need 5 picks this year. It gave us 4 sacks.
Yep.
Tana, if you're missing the joke, everybody thinks Diggy looks like both Darius Slayton and Logan Ryan. So the joke is his name is Logan Diggy Slayton, wide receiver cornerback.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I can see that a little bit.
There you go.
And
All right, but you have a good night, Jaden.
and
All right.
also, Santana is our opponent for the team. Forget Riley Dixon.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right.
You're good, buddy.
All right, next we welcome on a young gun, someone who jumps into your stream a lot, the Hub, a
Is it
guy.
Benny?
Yeah.
What's going on, Benny?
Talk with Benny.
Not much.
What up, Benny?
Not
What up?
much. How you
What up,
going?
Benny?
Not much. I don't know. Just chilling out. But I was wondering for you guys, what's like something that you guys not like it can be related to football, but it doesn't have to be related to football. But don't say like the season starting for any sports or really anything. But what's something you guys are most excited for in the future?
Movie theaters coming back.
Wow. Most excited
What's that?
for?
Just it can be really anything. It can be related to sports. It can be related to like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know anything.
I say in my personal life, I'm most excited. I'm going to be finishing up grad school in December, so I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
And then for football, I'm excited to just see the season. I'm excited to see Saquon and DJ run the option together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For me in school as well, literally today we were talking about it in one of my classes where everybody's just sick of online classes. We want to get back to human interaction. Like before we went online, the joke around my college is like, yo, this college sucks. But like everybody joked about it. I feel like that's how everybody bonds at their college or university.
Exactly.
And now we're all like, can't believe I'm saying this, bro. I miss going there. Like we used to hang out in the library, hang out around the places in Manhattan. Like I just miss going to school and classes in person a lot.
I do too.
So I'm looking forward to that. And then like outside of that, I said it before too, movie theaters. I'm a huge movie guy. I'm a huge anime guy as well. Biggie knows that, but I'm a huge movie guy. I'm looking forward to having the experience of just watching the movie in a movie theater.
Yeah, they're open.
I'm
What
waiting
about
for them
you,
to
Chris?
be open in NYC though.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're not open there.
Like the Hub, I'm a huge movie guy myself. And not just movie theaters, just being able to just do everything normal. Like if I want to go out on a date, I don't have to, worry about having to wear a mask and sit 5 tables apart from somebody. If I want to go to a movie theater, I don't have to worry about, a crowded stadium, go to a baseball game, football game, whatever, just the normal everyday life, going to the gym, so that's what I'm looking forward to. I know you could go to a gym, but I'm not right now until, things get back to normal. And, just getting back to the normal everyday life. And, luckily, YouTube's a blessing for me because, I could do this without having to get up and wear a shirt and tie and go to work. But obviously my life's not normal right now. I'm waiting for things to get back to normalcy. As far as what I'm looking forward to with the Giants is sweeping the Eagles. We're going to beat the hell out of them this year.
We gotta destroy
No,
them.
we should be sweeping the NFC East, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hate the Eagles more than I like
That's
the
a bold
Giants.
claim.
That's
Everybody's
a
high on
bold-
that Redskins or Washington football team defense.
Listen,
Sorry.
bro, Washington made the playoffs last year and we still swept them. What do you want me to say?
Eagles should be a sweep.
Until-
Washington should be at least one game.
Bro,
Dallas probably should be at least one game, definitely.
until
And-
Washington beats us, they ain't beating us. That's the mindset I got right now. You know why I have such a hard mindset with Washington? Because I used to be chill with Washington fans. And on Twitter, I see Washington fans capping all the way out, saying that they own the Giants. I'm like, when's the last time y'all beat us talking about you own us, bro? We went 3-13 and we still beat you. Come on, what are you talking about?
Yeah, for me, it's probably in the near future. It's just being able to buy a house, so I can settle down in an area and get my family and get my stuff back.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's gonna be like long term. I'm just excited to watch my kids grow up, man. That just excites the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Fatherhood.
I'm enjoying them while they're young, but I can't wait to see the people they turn into. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I just want to say, by the way, with the Zeitler news, I don't know if you want to talk football in here, but I actually wouldn't mind it if we got a good enough draft pick. It actually could make sense. I wouldn't mind it.
So what are you
probably
looking
getting
for?
like a 5th, bro.
A 5th or
Yeah,
honestly a 4th round pick, I'd be happy with. A 5th, I wouldn't even be mad at. Because like
Really?
you could get some more offensive line depth for that, and you save so much money. Look, here's the thing: I want as much help for DJ as I want, and if we're gonna save money and be able to get an extra pick to help DJ, that could end up be equaling more than what Zeitler brings, in my opinion.
My thing is that I feel like if we just find a way to get him to just restructure the extension
Oh,
like
yeah,
Biggie
I
was
want that
talking
the
about,
most.
then that does the same thing while keeping a proven guy on the roster.
No, I agree with that. If you want to restructure, but like, if he doesn't want to restructure, then I would try to, then I would trade him or look toward trading him.
He'd be stupid not to restructure though, because he ain't getting that. He ain't getting that, and it's nothing to do with him. It's his age and it's the shortened market. Like if the Giants come to him, I think he would restructure.
Yeah, and the problem though is I saw a report that teams they're not really looking to trade for him because like they know we might just cut him anyway. Like we kind of.
I honestly don't think we're getting anything for him
It's the money too, yeah.
Yeah, because of how much he makes.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to head out right here though. But thank you for
Mhm.
bringing me back on.
Thanks for coming on, Diggy. I appreciate it. I'm sure the chat appreciated it.
And have a good one, the rest of you guys. Benny, Hub, Tate.
All right.
You're good, buddy.
You, Diggy. Yeah, I got probably like 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna head out.
All right, Benny. Any last thoughts before I switch you out?
Not really. What about the knee solder thing, by the way? Like, I haven't seen much news about that. What do you think is gonna happen with that in general?
He's gone.
You think he's gonna be gone?
He should be gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he'll be gone. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna try to restructure, but I don't think it'll work out. I think they'll cut him.
Yeah, he just didn't work out at all with us.
We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they restructure, but I'm gonna leave.
Uh-huh.
All right, Benny. Well, thanks for
All
calling
right,
in.
see ya.
I got one more caller behind you, and then we'll just end it out with me, Hub, and Tana for a little bit, if that's cool, and then
All
close
right.
it out. Have a good night, man.
All right, see you.
You're good, my man.
Who's next?
And now we welcome on the one and only bearded man.
I was like,
Joel.
when is?
Yeah, though.
I was like, when is Joe gonna call in? He's definitely gonna call in.
You know what? I got Chris's background yesterday before his computer crashed. I was going to call in. He actually was one of the few that was able to get in.
Oh, really? Oh, on the thing list. Oh, yeah.
Congratulations on the new computer coming.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
It's been a
you
while
guys
for that upgrade.
You guys think you guys grew up tough? Hub over here is wrestling alligators, and he has to
I
watch
didn't
out for
say that. I
jaguars
said I
in the
was
background.
walking next to them.
I
Nah,
mean,
but
all
I'll
I
tell
got to
you,
worry about is a black bear and a coyote maybe in my backyard. This guy's got killers.
a black bear isn't a killer, bro.
Well, the ones around here, no, you make noise and they run away.
Wow. No, I mean, that's exactly what happens when you grow up in a underdeveloped country that's mostly forest and a bunch of wild animals. That's what you're gonna see.
Wow. Ooh, boy. So, but Hub, a little bit more about your journey. You said to bring in questions. I'm really curious as to the day you left. Like, how did you travel to the States? Was it an airplane? Was it a ship? Was it how did that come about to where you decided to come to the States?
Well, I didn't make the decision because I was 11.
Well, I
But-
understand that, but I just meant like how you felt the day you found out, and then your travels here. I mean, you explained how you had the fire and everything, and it really upsetted your lifestyle and everything. And I really appreciate you sharing this, because I've been to like every state there is. I was a truck driver. I've traveled in an airplane. I've traveled on the ground. The only thing I haven't taken is a train or a cruise ship. But I'm just
Yeah.
curious as to.
Yeah, and the fire thing was when we moved over here too. We were only like a couple months in NYC that happened. But for here, I just shared it again. If you could add it, Max,
Yep.
the airport in Guyana. I think there's one more now, but at the time this was like the only international one, very small. When you talk about comparing it to obviously other airports around the world, it's literally just one strip, and the second one is just
Okay.
there for like taxiing the planes, but just one strip. And this is where you go to, right? Named after the second president of the country, Chedijagan International Airport. That's how you make the trip right there, man. I mean, it's very minimal for obvious reasons, but yeah, was by plane. And I knew months beforehand that we are gonna come. And as a kid, I'm like, hey, yo, I exited, right? Oh yeah, because when I exited and it switched back to my CS work, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show that, but yeah. No, when I found out I was a kid, I'm like, oh, yo, we going to New York, bro. That's so cool. I'm completely down. Like, it was only positive thoughts, but it's funny you asked about the airport thing, because even though geographically speaking, it's not that far from where I live, because of the way the road system is and how little roads there are, it takes like, let me ask my mom actually, Ma, to get to Chegijaya, and it was like, what, 4 or 5, 6 hours? Okay, it was like 4 hours, yeah, to make the trip. Even though if it had like a competent road system, it would probably only be like 2.
Right.
So, yeah, there you go.
Like on the National Geographic, but it's like talking to somebody that was actually living there, because you see the documentaries of the road systems and the lifestyle and the animals and the wildlife that's literally right next to the house, like living in the ditches and everything.
Bro, like across from me was just savannah. like miles and miles of savannah across from my house, and it's just like if you go far enough in the savannah, you're gonna come across a small jungle. So
right.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then you go from that to the New York City, because I've been down to New York City and Manhattan and the five boroughs and everything like that, and seeing that for the first time, the difference in the way people act and carry themselves in that New York accent,
Mhm.
and that forget about it.
Oh, and one more thing, my mom just told me to tell you guys as well. Like, so it's the savannah, like right across from her house, then the jungle, and then right behind the jungle, not even a beach, just the Atlantic Ocean is right there. So you go far enough, you just come across the Atlantic. But yeah, no, it was definitely a stark contrast from what I grew up with. I mean, you guys heard me speaking my native dialect to my mom just now as well. Some people can understand
Right.
it, some can't. But it's a big adjustment because, like I said, I grew up as a country kid, or not even whatever you want to describe that as. Not really that much, technological advancements and whatnot. We had a computer, but it was the first one we had until like 2008, and it was dated, for the time that we had it and whatnot. Internet speed, they didn't even get 1 megabyte of internet until a couple years ago. It's like, it's like almost traveling back in time and whatnot, but I love it. Like, it's such a different style of living. You know what the biggest adjustment was? It wasn't like to the concrete jungle of NYC. It was something not really a lot of people think about. Air quality. The air quality in Guyana is superb
Yes.
because you got all those trees. The air quality in NYC I never truly adapted to. It's trash. It's
Yeah.
absolutely horrible.
Yes.
Like, it was actually an adjustment for your body to really get used to it.
Well, man, I appreciate you sharing that with us. I mean, that's really interesting because, we talked to our families. Like, my family was on Ellis Island. I mean, some of them came over in the early 20s
Mhm.
or 1918, whatever, and the family would get together and we would talk about that, their trips coming through, getting stamped. That's like, how in Italian they call them a wop? Well, I actually found out what that means. And what that means is when the Italians came over in the early 1900s, they would get on their hand stamped right here, WOP, which stood for without passport.
Mhm.
So, you hear all these little types of stories and the types of history and everything, and it's really fascinating. And Max, man, congratulations to this channel. Well, I mean, I get to see a side of these guys, and the stories are just fantastic. I mean, Chris talking about throwing water balloons. I think we've all done that a little bit, a time or two. And the hub and everything. I mean, that's great. No, I
Well,
appreciate.
thanks for the support, man. I'm glad people are enjoying it at least. I enjoy recording the episodes, and so I'm glad other people are enjoying watching it. That's my goal.
Oh, this is great. And then if I got time, I'd like to touch on, I've seen some people harping a little bit why we're in cap hell. Well, we're not the only team that's in cap hell. Dave Gettleman did a damn good job of getting us where we're at right now. And a lot of teams are going to be cutting players. Everybody sounds like the Eagles.
Joel, when I laugh at this. I
Yes.
see people on Twitter bitching about the cap. We're in the opposite of cap hell. Look at our cap situation going forward. Don't look at it just for this year, a year after we signed 3 players to 3-year deals. Or we're perfect. We're liquid, baby. We've got tons of cap space. We got more than enough cap space to keep the players that we drafted, which is what cap space is really for. We're in a great cap situation. It's unfortunate what happened with the virus. We're anticipating having $40 million this offseason, but we're in great shape. We have to do what every team has to do, though. We got to cut a couple players.
Right. But the guys that we're playing are Shermer's guys. Those are the guys we're getting cut.
Yeah.
Judge is creating his team. He's doing it the right way. Guys, remember, it's not about the free agent. It's not about the big name. It's about the guy you draft. It's the guy that you get in here that you have invested in. It's not what the other guy invested in. This is all about you because it's your butt on the line and you're the one that's going to get fired if your team doesn't produce. So Judge is going to go through clean house. I'm surprised Ingram is still on the team. I'm waiting for news or something like that to drop of him being gone. I mean, he was given a lot of opportunities. He had a lot of chances to succeed. And if we're getting rid of Zeitler, who is one of the best offensive linemen we had, and I understand it's the money wise, but you got to think Ingram's probably going to be on the chopping block here soon, because wasn't it last year teams were looking to give us a third for Ingram?
There were rumors.
Yes.
Yeah. If they could trade Ingram, I don't think they'll cut him, but if they could trade Ingram, if the right deal presents itself, I could see that. I don't think they'll cut him though.
No, but we got to just remember we're getting younger. We got to get our guys. Judge has to get his guys. Allen Robinson's a great player, but do you really want to pay him $20-25 million a year for 5 years and get locked into what Reese did with us when he brought in that defense and we played good for 1 year? Chris has brought this up so many times, but people, it's like they just forget, and it just drives me nuts. That's why I got a bald spot starting over here. Yeah, over here.
That's the Jerry Reese bald spot.
Yeah, it is. But all right, Max, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you all got a few more questions, so I'm just gonna skedaddle.
Thanks for calling in, man. It's been fun. I'm sure Hub enjoys. He said he enjoys talking about his childhood. It was a rundown memory lane.
Yeah, it's not something that I think about often, but when somebody asks, it comes back. All the memories come back.
All right, we'll catch y'all later.
You have a good night, Joel.
Be good, Joel.
All right, if I get you guys for a couple more minutes, if that's cool, and then we'll just chit chat for a minute and then close it out. You good for that, Hub, or you got to head out?
I got literally a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Maybe like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to have to go.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming on. I didn't get the chance to thank Diggy too much because he had to head out quick. But, yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I enjoyed our interviews thoroughly. Chris, you kind of joined a little bit late. We had some questions early. Some similar questions, some different ones. I don't remember them. I'd ask you them if I did, just to get your thoughts on them. But yeah, it was a blast. Yeah, you guys got anything to say here?
What are you up to now? How many subscribers you got?
That was actually something I thanked everybody for earlier. I'm up over 50 now.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, I can't expect too much more than that out of only putting out 5 episodes. You know what I mean? So.
When I went on, I think you had like 35 or so. So that's good, man.
Yeah, it's beyond where I expected to be at this point. Especially, like I said, doing 1 episode a week, a total of 5 episodes. And out of those over 50 subscribers, 16 people are in here watching this right now. There was people saying like, there's people out there who have 10,000 subscribers and they'll stream and get 10 viewers. You know what I mean? So I'd rather sit here with 50 subscribers and have 16 viewers and a good community than something massive that nobody wants to be in because it's too big. You know what I mean?
It's about building your community, man. That's what it's always about.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love what you're doing. I told you, before we started our interview, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I might steal your idea. I might do something like this on my channel eventually, like a little podcast once a week, having different YouTubers on talking about things outside of sports. I think it's a great idea. I think you're doing a great job.
Hub, you want me to add that?
Yeah, you could go if you want to, because I was like, I'm going out and might as well show you guys one of the I guess you could call it prides of the country.
Holy crap!
The Kaiser Falls. It's the largest single drop waterfall in the world, and to give you an idea of how covered it really is in forest, like that's a normal view.
Oh wow!
Like anywhere that you go, right? It's just luscious green all over the place. Like this is what it is. This is more of a savanna view. That's a view from the falls, obviously. Another one, they have their own national park and whatnot. Somebody was asking about animals earlier.
Look, is that poisonous?
Green ones are, not yellow ones.
Okay.
Green ones are though. Be careful not to mix them up. Obviously, got some more botanic shots here. When this clears up, obviously a forest that you're gonna have to walk through, and this right here is up on the waterfall. When it's not, when it's more of the dry season, you could probably go up there, but probably don't want to go up there when it's rainy season. Speaking of which, seasons, now that's come to mind, there's only 2, rainy and dry. There's not the 4 like a winter, autumn, and whatnot. Got a mom and her kid there on it. Somebody chilling. Yeah, it's a pretty good side. But yeah, I was gonna say, continuing on what Tate was saying, not only is it a great idea, but you're just a natural interviewer as well. Like we were talking about that earlier. The questions you ask are worded in such a way and presented in such a way that it's very easy for the interviewee to give their thoughts and really tell their story. It's like a natural talent, and you're doing a great job at it.
I appreciate that, man. I do. I appreciate it a lot. You know, like I said, life's crazy right now. I'm just trying to do something to have fun with it. You know, that's my goal, really. Do something, have fun with it, and hope that people enjoy it. But yeah, if you guys got anything you wanna put in there that you got coming up, go ahead and do that.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
yeah, make sure you check out Mock Draft 2.0. We've been out a couple days already. Yeah, go ahead, check it out. Like it if you like it. Leave your comment if you didn't like it. From what I've got garnered from the community is that it's generally a 50-50 split between which mock they like better, 1.0 or 2.0. So that was pretty interesting.
Mock drafts are always tough to do because you know you're going to get people pissed off no matter what you do.
Somebody,
When's yours coming, Chris?
I'm waiting until after free agency till I start to pump it out. I was going to have one last week, and then I was like, you know what? You know, because there was a couple of changes. You had the Eagles, you know,
Right.
trade Wentz, and there was a couple of changes. I was like, maybe I'll do one before free agency, but then I'm like, free agency's already here. I'm going to wait till after free agency, and then I'll pump out another first round only. Then I'll have my first 7-round Giants mock draft probably that same week. And then I think what I'm going to do, and I'd like to have you guys on, you know, Giants creators, Max come on too, is a weekly thing where I alternate people who come on like mock draft Mondays, whatever, once a week leading up into the draft, just to get the flow of things, you know. So that's
Sure.
something that's something I'm definitely going to do after free agency.
100%. And you have a great point. Making mock drafts are hard. You're always going to have people coming at you. The title literally says no trades. Several people commented, you know, I probably would have traded down here. I'm like, did you not read the title? Like, it says no trades.
And then when you have trades, people complain.
Yeah, because
Then they're like, oh, that trade would never happen.
a mock draft is already hard enough to do as it is. To do one with trades, Jesus, that's even harder.
Yeah. And you're never going to be right. It's a guessing game. You're never going to be
Mhm.
right. And you're throwing darts at a board. It's just kind of
Right.
just finding out what the team needs are.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I want to thank everybody who came and watched this episode. This is the first ever live Q&A with people that I've interviewed on my channel. It was a success. I'd like to keep this going. Every few people that I interview, we'll bring them all on as a panel, and you guys can come chat in the chat. If it's going slow, we'll open it up to call-ins. Just go with the flow, have a good time, and so make it so you guys can get to know these content creators a little bit better. Make sure you go over and check out Chris's stuff, although a lot of it now is Knicks. If you're a Knicks fan, go check that out. I know, Hub, you're a Knicks fan, so you guys are both pretty stoked about that win tonight. And make sure you go over to Hub's channel and check him out as well. But I hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time.